tag.
Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from Mason Works Marketing here on Conscious Business Zone. Today with my new friend, Bonnie Burd. Hi, Bonnie.
How are you?
Yes. So we were just saying that we are both fast friends with Robin Nicole. And in fact, Robin and David Starr rave about you, Bonnie, and
Oh,
about
I love them.
your incredible energy and your creativity. So I wanted to bring you on here and introduce you to my audience to see how everybody could play together, because I really think at this point what we're looking at is not just this heavy stuff. This is time to play. So everyone, Bonnie is a wellness practitioner, a Reiki master and teacher, a meditation specialist, and a channel of divine messages through light language. She also has a modality that she calls Ignite Your Quantum Healing. And she's very passionate about it. And it helps you tap into your innate energies that help you to heal by removing and releasing the energies that are no longer serving you. She holds energetic space that you can heal naturally, mind, body, and spirit, soul. She also can teach you techniques to further maintain and empower you to live a balanced and clear energy life. So you said in here, it's you also do, your work includes timeline regression. So that's where I want to start with the questions. So when before we got on, you said something about Akashic Records, which I also use a lot. What
Yeah.
I do. So when you're talking about regression, are you talking about going into the Akashic Records, or what do you do?
Well, I'm also a certified hypnotherapist. I use a lot of the hypnotherapy techniques to help people to relax and get into those theta spaces so that they can let their consciousness stretch, to allow them to relax and just allow all of the energies to flow and just get them into that space where they can allow spirit to speak to their heart. And so with the Ignite Quantum Healing is what it is that we go in with I work with all the masters of light. I work with all the archangels of light, and I ask them to hold space for us, and I just whichever one that person needs always steps forward. And then we go into the Akashic Records. But what we ask for is what is getting in your way in this now moment that's keeping you from moving forward, so that we could go to the seed of the first energy of the first fractal that it happened in, and we heal the seed, and then we release everyone involved. So then then everything after that in all directions and time, it's like the roots of a tree. It dissolves it in all aspects, and including your family members after you. So it like runs through the DNA. And so how we do that by going in, and once we find it, we look at it, we release it. A lot of times we use a lot of I say we because I'm talking about the masters. We use a lot of light language to help move blockages and help them open up keys and codes that they have within their DNA, because everything that they're opening up, they already have within them. And all we're doing is holding space, helping them to release energies that doesn't belong. And the biggest key, Yashua is the biggest key. He says, he's always been with me since I was 2. He says that the forgiveness with the shadow work, that is the biggest key to allow all this stuff to shift. So once you like gather all the people involved, and then you talk it out, and then you get forgiveness for each other because you understand each other, then there's everybody's release, and then soul retrieval is done. brings back what it is that you lost during all of that. And all contracts and all directions in time are dissolved from that situation. So it's like a huge, it's kind of, remember when it used to be that you just went in, you cleared one, you went in, you cleared one, you went in, you cleared one. Well, I used to do that, and I asked my guides to help me do something that wasn't so painful for that they didn't have to go to every single lifetime and clear. And so that's when they started working with me on doing the mass clearings. And so that's what the Ignite Quantum Healing is, because once you do the first session with me, they don't leave you. With your permission, they'll be working with you at night, and you'll be going through different lifetimes, release. And then when you get stuck, you'll know it. And then you'll just make another appointment to get it moving again. And then they'll working with you again, release. So yeah, it's really a decision. You really want to make a decision that you want to clear it out, because once you start the process, it really gets the shadow work going.
So do you feel, so some of the modalities I've used, you actually get angry when you're clearing things out. Do you find that people's emotions get agitated when things come out?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
We're okay. Yeah, you'll go through all emotions, because the way that Yeshua explains it to me is that because Yeshua is my teacher along with all the Essenes, he explains to me that the emotions are your barometer, and that you tell when you've disconnected yourself from spirit when you're upset or mad or angry, or you know that you're connected when you're happy and you're feeling joy and you're feeling love. And so whenever you step out of that connection, that's when you drop it down into your heart and you say, what happened? Why am I here? Why am I feeling like this? He's saying that, he tells me, which, I'm only human, so it doesn't always work that way, but you're supposed to drop it in your heart and ask yourself a question before you answer. If you feel angry, before you yell at someone or send energy in that direction, he tells me to drop it in your heart first and go, why did I react this way? And then when you do that, when you answer them, you answer them from the heart and not from the mind. So it's kind of part of the teaching and part of the training is how to switch it around, turn it upside down, drop it into your heart.
What I use is kinesiology a lot, and I'm finding this past maybe 3 weeks, it's not as accurate. I don't know if the energies are doing something weird, which they are. Of course they are. But do you use kinesiology to test?
Yeah, I use it. I use it a lot more than I did 3 weeks ago, because when I went to Mount Shasta, the lady, I remember it was like an old tool that I used to use. And then I went to Mount Shasta, and the lady that was taking us around, showing us all the vortex, she was using that a lot. And she goes, it's the simplest thing, but it really gives you the good answers to your questions. And so then I started doing that again. And I thought, well, I don't know why I ever stopped doing that.
Yeah, well, I use it all the time, but it was really interesting. I was using it last weekend, and the energies last week just blew my circuits. It was almost too much. I could have slept all the time, but I couldn't have slept all the time. What I was finding is if I couldn't get totally centered before I tested, that I wasn't getting, I had to almost clear before I could get an answer.
Yeah. Well, what's happening right now in this week, starting on the 3rd through the 7th, is the Sirius vortex is open. Right. So we're having all this massive energies and wisdom and freedom codes and all that stuff coming down. And so it's all that good stuff, but you have to ground and breathe it through, breathe it. And when you're feeling discombobulated like that, go outside and put your hand on a tree, because the tree really helps you.
Yeah, I definitely was hugging the tree out back a lot. That's my
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, being highly sensitive, again, I've been sensitive since I was a little girl, and that's a gift, but it also makes you aware of the global consciousness and the chaos that's available to tap into if you want to. Right now is just the contrast is like a teeter-totter. It's really, it's hard to stay here because everybody is here. And if it isn't, um, it's it's hard to stay with just people that are in this perspective, in the center point, the 0 point perspective, or working from their heart, because it's everyone around you has this. If they're sensitive, they're tapping into this waveform that doesn't feel settled at all. It's almost like there's two waves and they're
Yeah. Well, and it's also hitting all these pockets that are hidden in our body that we stuffed somewhere, and it's bringing it up to the surface so we can release it. And so that's where the anger is coming from. The oh God, oh why?
well, the reason I mentioned about the anger is about, I'd say 8 years ago, a long time ago, I brought someone into Colorado to do healing classes, and really high functioning people took these classes together. Really cool people, but there was a lot of blowouts from it. A lot of screaming.
Yeah.
And that was like
just recently, this Saturday, I had a blowout.
really.
And I had to go out. I had to go outside, and I had to just hug a tree and breathe. And I dropped it down in my heart, and I went, well, that situation didn't warrant that reaction. It didn't make any sense. And then my guide started telling me, this is high energies, and we need to breathe it out, and don't be so hard on ourselves, because you will blow out like that. You're not drinking enough water, and you're not staying grounded. And the breath is key. The breath is key. They keep saying that over and over again. And so, and trying to eat, foods from the earth that are clean, and things like that. That's
Right.
the way to stay in it.
So what do you see is happening right now? The Sirius portal's opening. We're going to have the Lionsgate next month. I mean, we've got. It's just people keep on saying they're like on Facebook, you'll follow somebody and they go, "Wow, that was a big one," or "Frequencies are really high," and you go, "That's what that was."
Yeah.
I mean, I love Facebook for that.
Yeah, because I don't know anything about astrology, and I don't follow that.
Yeah.
But then somebody who does, they'll go, "Oh my God," and then I'll be like, "Oh my God, no wonder I was upside down."
Well, so how do you see this? What I see is that what you were saying about your quantum process, your Ignite quantum process, is that I really see that we're remembering who we are, and we're releasing whatever blocks we have, which are in the Saint Germain's work, they call it obscurations, which kind of means shadow stuff that's stuck in your field that don't allow you to hold more light. So the people that are the lighthouses, the light workers, it doesn't matter how old you are or what you want to call it, but the people that are capable of holding more light into their cells, they're going to be able to just walk into a room and transform the room.
Yeah.
So is that what you're seeing? Because that's what I keep asking for personally.
Yeah, absolutely. And Saint Germain is the one that's in he's in every one of them. He holds the light. He helps me, him and Michael and Yahshua, those three are the main ones.
Yeah.
But then I end up working with all the scenes. All the scenes are with my light language is the voice of all of the scenes, is what they told me. And sometimes the singular ones come out, but most of the time it's just their one voice.
When did you start doing light language?
It was like a natural moving towards it, because I do weekly meditations on Zoom.
Yeah.
And we just would gather, we'd raise the energy, we'd do healings, and then afterwards we would read cards and just, you know, support each other, give each other readings and whatever they're needing help on. We just, because we're a group of light workers, so we would just help each other. And I still do this every week. And also I have a YouTube, Ignite Quantum Healing, that also has all the meditations on it, so that if you want to do healing, you could go over there and do that.
Wow.
But anyways, it started because I would be on, because I work at, I don't work, but I do spiritual stuff at Choices Unlimited, and I do Reiki classes and stuff like that over there. And so I would be driving, because it's like a 40-minute drive from my house, and I would tone, because I was trying, because I was going to do the meditation. That was when I was doing it in physical, and so I would tone on the way there just to raise the energy. And before I knew it, well, first the people in my meditation class would say, I'm hearing different languages behind you. They're like, I'm hearing, like, you know, almost indigenous stuff going on behind your speaking. And I'm like, wow. So then I started listening, and I started hearing it too. And then I always would tone to raise energy before I got there. And then before I knew it, it just came out. But I had a couple of readings that said, you're going to do light language, that it'll eventually open up for you. And what had happened was I started it, but it wasn't as easy at first. And then I had a session with someone, this amazing lady named Nicola Russell. And I did the session with her, and I had a key that I had to give her in order to open it up. Because from many lifetimes, there's like I've been here forever, over and over and over again. I had been taken out for doing light language. So I had a special key that if in this lifetime it was going to be okay to speak it, I had to give it in order to be opened. And so after I did that, it was like, boom, all the different languages came and all the different things happened. So
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And it's only been for the last 6 months.
Well, maybe later we can do a little bit so people can have an experience with you. I did put your website up for people, so and I will put it also in the comments, but we want to make sure that people know how to reach you so that they can actually have a clearing. And it sounds like a lot of what you're doing is releasing the karmic contracts and agreements that are no longer serving the person in this lifetime. And they may have come in with that, but the lessons may already be learned, or the opportunities to remember are now available. So I just, so everyone knows, it's Bonnie Burd, BURD.wixsite.com / Ignite Quantum Healing. So definitely I'll put it in. It's a long one. Tongue twister. So
It is a long one.
I'll put it in the chat too. So but so Bonnie, what the reason I asked about the light language is I've worked with a lot of people that do light language, and when I first heard it, I just love it. Because you can almost feel grace come in with it. Because I'm sensitive. I felt the frequency of it, and sometimes people sing it. Some people use hand motions, but it almost felt like I said it when I was a little kid. And did you say it as a little kid?
I'm sure you did, because I came in wide open, and I would play with the fairies and I would speak it, but I didn't know that's what it was. I just thought it was playtime. Yeah. And I didn't even realize that. I guess I felt like I was really talking and playing with something, but I don't think it mattered to me. I didn't think, is it real? Is it not real? I just played. And then it was like, as my gifts started opening up to the mediumship part, that was scary for me as a child, because you ever see Sixth Sense? It
Yeah.
was like that. They would, yeah, they would just, yeah, they would, what, they wouldn't be like standing next to my bed like they showed for the poor kid, but it would be like, they would show me the day that their life ended and how it happened. But being a little girl, it was like nightmares, and I didn't understand why they were showing me that. And so I was so afraid of the nighttime to come, and I just couldn't handle that. My heart was too kind to handle that kind of over and over imagery. So I would pray, and it wasn't until I was like 8 that I finally said out loud, "Please take this from me. I can't handle this."
Oh, wow.
And so it stopped. But then it wasn't until I was like in my teens, they slowly started reintroducing it to where, but there's boundaries for me, because like if they come in a healing and they ask permission, they can come in. They don't just jump in and show me what happened to them. That doesn't happen anymore. So my guides and angels put it to where I could deal with that. It doesn't take me by surprise. They will ask, may I, and so that's a lot easier than the other way. Yeah.
How does your family do they accept? Does everyone think it's cool what you're doing, or are they skeptical? Or
I have some that are really open-minded, but they don't really talk about it. And I have people that are really religious in my family, because my dad was a preacher,
oh wow,
yeah, it was my dad. He was always, yeah. But he finally said to me, are you going to be where I'm at? My dad, bless his heart, he's in heaven now. But
okay.
someday will I see you again? And I said, yeah, no worries, Dad, you'll see me. So after that, he quit worrying about it so much.
Oh good.
But I don't really explain myself, because I feel like I've had people, I have done the light language, and I've just put it on once in a while. One time it was on my personal page, and one of my cousins said, well, what kind of religion are you? And I didn't answer, because I'm not a religion. I'm spiritual, and whatever love is, that's what I am.
Right.
Whatever
Well,
of the heart is, that's what I am.
I just wondered if your husband would. I mean, when I talk to some people, there's a lovely angel lady named Sunny Dawn Johnston, and she grew up psychic and intuitive, and seeing angels and everything, and her parents encouraged her. Whereas I grew up hiding. I was afraid they'd put me in a home or to treat
Well, my dad would just say, my dad had the same gifts, and he would just say, he would just think it would go away if he just ignored it. So when I would say someone's in my room, someone's at the end of my bed, or I hear someone, he would say, no one's there. No one's here. Go back to sleep. And when I got older and I asked him, why did he do that to me? Because he suddenly said, yeah, ghosts are here all the time. Once it's in my bed all the time, talking to me at night. He's a sad one. He doesn't want to go to heaven yet. And I went, Dad, because he was like in his 80s when he said that to me. And I said, you told me they didn't exist. What? And he goes, oh, I just told you that so you'd quit focusing on it. So you'd go to sleep at night. He said, you was always safe. I was like, oh my God. He said, I would always pray over the house. You were safe. And I was like, oh my gosh, if you had just said that to me, it might have been a little easier.
Right. Well, that's what I mean, at a certain point, this has been since probably the past 3-4 years, a lot of us have come out completely about our superpowers, if you want to call it that, whereas we didn't feel confident, or we called it something else. I called it intuition, or whatever. So I want to ask again about the Akashic records and how you use it, because I use it too. So do you go in for yourself at all?
You know what?
I don't. That's okay.
That's a good question, because I have been doing a lot of shadow work lately, and other people have been helping me with it. And
Uh-huh.
people have been asking me that lately, but I don't think I've ever just went into meditation and taken myself there for myself. And so when I went to Mount Shasta, and I'm always channeling Isis. I'm always doing light language for her and everything. And she came just for me, just to do an attunement for me. And it freaked me out because I'm used to doing it for a meditation group and not for me personally. And so she stood in front of me and said, "What can I do for you?" I was like, "What?"
Isn't that cool?
Just for me? I have no idea.
Wow.
But she's been at my side. I mean, she always was there, but now I really have a really easy connection with her since she like, because we did a meditation on the mountain, and they invited us into Talos.
Yeah.
And when we went into Talos, it was just a big celebration. It looked like the Last Supper. Everybody was eating and drinking. And my human self first thing I said was, "You guys eat?" And they were like, "Well, we perform the function of it, and we have they taste it and everything. Just like if you say lemon and you taste it, their consciousness knows how to do that, but they don't physically have to eat anything.
Yeah.
It's the gathering and being together." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I get it."
So,
But
the last time I was at Shasta, I was with a guy, Richard Yap from Perth, Australia, and we had those Pandora lights, and there was a group of us from all over the world that met, and he had a tent that had Arcturian images on the inside of the tent that were amplifiers, and we all got to connected Telos. And what was amazing is we're sitting in this meadow trying to figure out where to set up this tent to do the light journey. And his partner Cian asked, "Where should we go?" And a bird like lands on her and shows us where to go.
I'm not surprised one bit. I'm
And
not
it
surprised
was
one
like,
bit.
you can't make that stuff up.
No. And when we were up there, we did a ceremony for ourselves, and then we did one for the collective.
Oh,
And the wind was taking part of it, and I recorded it, so it sounds like the wind sounds like water, sounds more like a cleansing.
beautiful.
And it was and every time I listen to it, it makes me go, "Whoa." I'm so glad I recorded it. Wished I would have been able to record what was going on in my third eye when Isis was doing her thing. You can't record that.
No. Well, if you need it, it's still there, probably, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you see that a lot of people are, their third eyes are opening now? It seems like that's what I'm seeing more and more, that people are able to see. Well, I'll back up. A year and a half ago, I do these readings where I'm shown a timeline, your soul purpose timeline, and then I'm given a way to help you fulfill it. And last year, for the first time, I've been doing this for over 20 years, someone jumped into my third eye with me and went with me on their journey, which that had never happened before. And she is a fairy. And she was pure white light. It was like Jesus kind of energy. Yeah, so whoever,
Yeah.
and whoever you want to call him, it was unbelievable. And it really affected me because no one else had ever, everyone else wants you to try to explain it. This person was able, her name's Sherry Doyen. She was able to just jump in and go with me. And then this past year, people have almost been able to do that more, where when you're explaining it, they see it. And so it lands like twice as fast. I was working with somebody in Hawaii, and like within the week, what we saw happened. Are you finding that too?
Well, that's what the new Ignite Quantum is. They say that I hold keys and codes for other people's um, path. And so when we go in and we do that and we do the light language, I'm able to give them the keys and codes that, but I don't give them the keys and codes. I give them whatever they need to open up what's inside of them. They have the keys and codes. They just need to release some blocks in the way of it and be able to open it. And so in all of mine, I go and they go and I see what they see. We see together. And it might be through senses and feeling. It might be see-feel. Not everybody is very clear here. A lot of people will just feel it, or they might just know it. But it's almost like their consciousness builds on mine, because once they start to see it and I start to dial into it, then we kind of create it together to where we can see it clearly. And so that's exactly how it is every time I do one. But every once in a while, you'll get someone who just isn't ready to travel, that they need so much healing work before they can go. So what they will do is they'll take them up to the healing rooms. Usually they're in the Elohim realms, and they'll do healing for them. And they'll also do, Saint Germain does a lot of cord cutting, and Michael helps them release all the karmic. It's just, they're just so bogged down that they really need to focus on their healing first. And then once they remove that and release that, then they always are able to go and travel after that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. And are you finding that people are more excited about it? I mean, I think there was a lot of fear before about stepping into your power. Are you finding that more and more people are excited about it now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're excited and they're curious, and they're not afraid to hear light language. They want to hear it. And I have people tell me that listen to the YouTube page that their light language has turned on, or they suddenly start seeing different lifetimes. And so they're saying that that's really amazing. So I think that's exciting to me too, because I'm just doing what Spirit tells me to do. I didn't know it was going to do all this stuff. So to me, it's like, wow.
Yeah. I know at some point you go, I mean, am I nuts or is this real?
Yeah. But when they say it's helping them and they're opening up and doing all these things, you're like, it's got to be you. It's confirmation that you're doing the right thing.
Right.
And,
Right.
Exactly.
So, and tell us a little bit about the group. I mean, because the way I met you, honestly, was that you seemed to play very well with others, that you actually delight in co-creating. And I really think that's the beauty of conscious business, conscious collaboration right now, is co-creating at a high level, where it's not just about, well, when you gain, everyone gains.
Yeah.
It's like bringing up the template changes. Do you want to speak about that? Because I think you're amazing at it.
So I like to be involved in groups that are heart-based and are reaching out to everyone to give them tips and tools that will offer free things that or very low price so they can afford it. So right now I'm involved with the Hearts of Collective Change, and that's just a weekly where we just get on and we do healings and we tell people, and then we also let them know where we are if they can, if they want to do a session. And then my other heart is over there at the New Earth with Robin and David, and it's just, we just do circles and we have people on. We call them circles because it's like we have people get on and we just all share what we do, knowledge of one subject, whatever it is, we share. Even the people that are involved, we ask for them. So it's like you don't have to be an expert. You just have to want to share something from your heart that you've learned that helped you along the path. And so that's what we're all about. We're all about we, of course, we put a donation button up, but you don't have to if you don't have that, that's fine. And so we do, and we also do community chats to get to know the teachers before they come on. And they're called unity circles is what they're called, because it brings people together. And then also I'm involved also in David's Divine Ray, because that's another heart-based community project that's going to help the new earth. And so you can find me there too. So that's what draws me, is the community and the heart base. And that's where I want to be. And so that's why I'm involved in these projects. And I'm also on Divine Ray as I'm doing these modules, because I also I've written a book, but I don't have it published yet.
Okay.
For Flow of Life Living, how to alchemize your energies and live in this, be okay, and all the tips and tools to get you to where you can communicate with your guides and be comfortable in your own skin and remember who you are. So it's like everything that I learned along my path, and I'm hoping it'll help others. Okay. And so I'm working on that. And Yahshua came to me, and he gave me a list of what to say or what to put in the books.
Yeah.
And then he said to me, but keep it simple. Don't be getting all technical. Just keep it simple. Talk to the everyday person. And so that I've been working. That's what I have it. I just don't know what to do with it now. So, but I was thinking maybe doing some modules and put it out little by little, and so that's the project I'm working on right now.
Cool. So, I publish books, so let me know if you want to just we can chat and see.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, so are you finding that, so you have kids, are your kids into all this stuff too? Are they excited about this, or?
Well, okay, my husband's like, oh, honey, I love you. Go do your thing. It's okay. I know you're not crazy, but it's all right. He's not.
He doesn't feel it.
Yeah. And then my kids are the same way. They're like, oh, Mom. They'll ask me a question, and then I'll go way too deep for them, and they'll go, Mom, I only wanted to know the one thing. Or, Mom, couldn't you just give me a hug and not tell me how to release it? Just hug me. So my kids, I hold space for them, and I know that they know, because I've had one of them. Well, I've had them say to me, oh, I had this problem, and then I did this. And I knew it was some advice that I had given them that, I didn't even think they heard. And so I would be like, oh, good. Or if one of my daughters, she likes mediumship a lot, and she'll be like, Mom, clear me. So I know they support me. They just don't go as deep as I go.
Right. But the thing is your dad had it, and now you have it, so maybe they have it.
They do.
Yeah.
They sort of ignore it. Even my husband is medium, but he just kind of don't like to. He just like, nah, not for me,
Well, I think that, so much of this is you're getting information from the field, and it just depends on if you act on it. So I believe that you're all like antenna, and there's all sorts of stuff in the field of consciousness that either, you're dialed into it or not. And so not everybody, like, for instance, you started writing that book, not everybody would have taken action. That's the thing, is that.
Well, I did start to write the book, but I haven't gotten. I mean, I kind of feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, because it's just sitting there.
No, but you know what I mean? It's like people get the memo. Like, you'll get this flash of inspiration. You'll be taking a walk. You're sitting on a rock or something after your walk, and then this thing comes to you, like, because you're clear. You're not, you're clear enough to get the message. Mm-hmm. And then it just takes a long time for you to act, but you do act. That message might have been gotten by hundreds of other people that didn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, I do teach it. I just don't have the physical. I mean, I have. It's in
Okay.
notebook. It's
Oh
in a
no.
notebook for me to teach it. But other than that,
So is
that's
that
other than that.
how you teach Reiki then? Is it you're using Reiki? Because you're a Reiki teacher, right?
Yeah, I teach Reiki, and I teach all the way through Master Teacher. And this is like it would help the advanced, and it would help the beginner. It is because it stayed simple. Just as it what it does, how Yahshua explains to me, is it connects the dots to your spirituality. You learn this here, you learn this here, you learn this here, and then it's like little breadcrumbs, and then all of a sudden it all comes together, and you're like, oh, that's what that means. It's the whole
Cool,
toast.
cool, cool.
It kind of makes the light bulb go on.
So how are you seeing this time period? I mean, I'm seeing this as the opportunity for a big shift. What we've been through this past year, where I live in Colorado, you don't have to wear masks anymore.
Nope.
Oh, I went to a party this weekend, but it's pretty much opening up. Are you seeing that? The new earth is here, or how? Because it almost to me is like there's two worlds still.
Yeah. Yeah, because here, I'm in Michigan, and it's in the States, and there's no mass, and we're pretty much going back to regular. There's a few things that we're not doing, but mostly it's pretty much returning to regular. But it's not the same, because you can't go back to it the way it was, because we've gotten too much information, and there's more enlightened people, so we're not in the same timelines. But I think we're starting to move forward, to start the healing, and because we lost a lot of people, and so we're starting to do the healing and move forward, kind of pick up the pieces, and so that's why it's so important for all of us to be here to help people move forward and help release the pain,
Perfect.
because what one of the things that I do is heart release, and and it is grief, and help you release grief. Uh, and so I think that it's so important that all of us get out there and help, at least be available so they can find you, so that you can help.
Right. Well, and that's what the Divine Ray app does, and that's what being on Facebook and doing these groups, and you being on YouTube. And Robin was really nice. She put your YouTube channel in the group.
I just love her. She's so
Yeah.
sweet.
Well, David's there
She
too.
knows I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
David does too.
Yeah.
I love them both. They're like my family, I tell you.
Well, the thing is they love you because of who you are and how open you are too, and how magical you are and how you share it so beautifully with them. So that's why I wanted to get to know you better. So as far as this time period, I still feel like there's going to be a big disclosure coming up. And I'm not a conspiracy person. I just think that a bunch of stuff's going to be revealed, and it could be quite disturbing for people. Is that why you feel like you needed to get your stuff out so that these tools would be available when people are going through trying to clear?
Yes, because what happens is, when these conspiracy theories come to the light, it jolts people. People are asleep, and they see something like that, and they're like, oh my God, what have I been doing all this time? Why haven't I been paying attention? And then they start, and then they need to release the pain, because they're seeing where they were taken advantage of. And so they need to find something that they resonate with, and it's not just my book, it's everybody's heart, because everybody has a different flavor, everybody has a different way of doing things, and your heart, your soul is going to resonate with one person, and you're going to always get the people that that spirit knows you can help. And so everybody needs to get their stuff out there.
Perfect.
everything.
Yeah.
And it's all going to be, it's going to help a lot of people. And that's what it's all about, helping people stay in the light and not get into that, because you can go either way with the shadow work. You could just let it completely develop you and just lay in it and be the victim, or you can stand up and claim your sovereignty and start letting it go and move forward. And so it's that decision that person has to make. But if they see that there's tools there to help them, they're going to make the decision to clear it, and they know that there's a hand out there waiting to grab it.
That's that's great. Yeah. And that because if we assume that we were when we were not embodied, that we stood in line to be here right now, to get these bodies, to be here right now, to help with this huge upgrade to consciousness and the heart opening that's available, and we're much more powerful together. That's why you working in team has been wonderful, and I highly recommend that people experience it, because what you're going to see is that when we were told when two or more gather, it's more powerful. When four or more gather, or three or more gather, you really do have the capacity to flip things faster and transmute, because this isn't about always processing. A lot of times it's just about the gray energy that's stuck in your field can just be taken out. It doesn't have to necessarily be identified. It
Yeah.
can just be transmuted.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and you get, the more you use the tools, and the better you get at it, the faster you get at it. And the faster you recognize it, that you disconnected. You're like, okay, what's happening? Oh, okay. So I need to breathe. So I need to go outside for a minute because that didn't help. I need to drink more water. So you'll go through the process really quick, and you know how to balance, alchemize your energy to where you feel better. And then if that doesn't work, if everything you've tried doesn't work, then that's what the healers are, to hold space to help you release it.
Right.
So just reach out for a healer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's resonance. That's what the more clear you are, the more you're like a tuning fork working with someone else, where you both end up at a higher frequency. And that's where all of that sticky energy that was stuck emotions just sort of goes away, because it can't exist at the higher field, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bonnie, I don't know if it's fair to ask you, but do you want to do a little light language for us? We've got at least
Sure.
minutes.
Sure. What usually I just say an intention, and then I let whatever guide wants to step forward.
Okay.
And, so my intention is today's the last day of the vortex that's opening for the serious energies. So I'm going to ask that everybody receive what it is they need to receive, and then also that it helps integrate and ground it in, so that it goes into the mother's heart, so that it can be shared for everyone when they're ready, it'll come to them when they ground. So I'm just going to take a deep breath. This is Joshua. Location makata echaka unku muka ete inikite meketa mokshuma na yata yemakoya makata mokoya etaka mokoto no yata kai ento mokushina yini kite mekomayata tawa. Dokumo kukumo kayata shabukumayata ya putukumushin kitika itika umukukumayanaka anaka yanaka. Pukukumayanakena yawataya kunukutumayanataya kutukutu. He's saying, open your heart, release now, release. shomo kete emakaya utukumoya na ka enamo kutukumoya tititemo tututumaya tamaya tatomaya itimokoyo koto. You are the key. You are the key. All you have to do is decide that you want to release. Tukukomekata okomoya na kayama itakotokomo kutukonomoya na kitigamo kutu yushumakata eta utukumoko na yana yata yamokuno katamakaya. The mother's here to support you. The Father's here to support you. All you have to do is breathe and allow these energies to wash over your body like the rainbow light. Kutukumokumpoya na kichinamakoya na gaya, utukoya na kite enukuya no yanakaya, itakumukumoya na yanahukumoya tite emakushute enamakutuka okotomoina. He's saying, just breathe. He goes, it's so simple. It's so easy. Allow yourself to just kind of like lay back like you're in the water, like in the ocean. Let the waves help you just float out. He says he's filling you with love now. He's sending love from his heart. So open your heart. Take a deep breath. The love will help you release, will help you hold more light. Utuko niyo makita ang kamukoya tata umukuto humikita tuko utuko umugay na kaya pukuko mikitinga moyata. Release what's making you holding you back from your truth. Release what's holding you back from your heart's desire. Kutuko mukoya na kay shuka makata o mukaya na muko oni ete eneke eneko numuko na yataka. Ignite that threefold flame in your heart. Bring in that blue energy of truth. Bring in that Christ energy. Bring in the pink ray of love. Kutukumukaya takashoma oyana intaka otukumukumokumoyanaya. Tutukumukata ainaya. Tichomokoya kahnakayana. Take a deep breath. Ignite the flames. Breathe all that beautiful love into your heart. Healing green energies coming in now through every system, every cell. He's helping you integrate with this new energy that's coming through your body. Take a deep breath. Feel yourself raise even higher. And now he's telling you to ground to the mother and connect to the Father. And he's saying that he's always here, and so is all of the masters, all the Essenes, all the archangels. Anytime you need help, just ask, because we are here and we can be everywhere. That is the way the quantum works. And that's what we're here for. We're here to serve. Those are keys and codes. Take a deep breath. Let all these keys and codes settle into your body. And when you're ready, those gifts are open. They will open when you are ready to receive. And so it is. Yahshua says, thank you for having him here. And he's sending so much love. And I thank him for being here. Wow, I'm still floating.
Oh, wow. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. And you can still feel it. I feel it all the way to my feet, up my legs. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, the total body, because they just rush the love all the way down into the mother, because they want everything that they're doing, that it's the community. They want to share it with the community. So it goes down through your body and into the heart of the mother. So the trees can release them out into the consciousness.
Right. Oh, trees are amazing. Okay, one more question for you about ETs. Do you ever, because I know you're working with the unseen, are you also aware and working with ETs?
The galactics. Yeah, because they're our family. They are our aspects. Same with the angels, same with the masters. We have an aspect in every community. They're all communities of love, and they're our family, and they want to help us. And so, yeah, I work with whatever is love.
Well, I think there's a big push right now for more disclosure. There was going to be something given out by the government, and apparently it was not very deep. And so now what they're, I was watching last week, I was watching a YouTube with Grant Cameron, who had all these experiencers there because they're not keeping quiet anymore. And if that does if all that knowledge is let out, then free energy could be available, all sorts of medical improvements, all sorts of longevity improvements, because of frequency and tone could be available. So
That's exciting.
yes,
I can't wait.
That's the time we're in, right?
That's what we came for. We came here for front row seats, and here we are.
Yeah.
What a blessing it was being here with you today.
Yes, thank you so much. So one more time, we want to make sure that everyone can find you, Bonnie. And I'm feeling a little dizzy, whatever that light language was. It feels great. Thank you.
Yeah, you need to drink water, lots of water.
Okay.
And then if you need to rest, then rest, because sometimes after they open up what's within you already, sometimes it takes a little bit of integration, a little bit of rest.
Perfect. Thank you. So, but please let everybody know how they can get a hold of you so they could work with you, please.
Just, there, either go to the website, or you can go to my Facebook page, Ignite Quantum Healing with Wellness Practitioner Bonnie. So it's the easiest way. Or you can email me at ignitequantumhealing@gmail.com.
Oh, okay. IgniteQuantumHealing@gmail.com also. Okay. Well, Bonnie, thank you so much. And I'm excited to get to know you. I can't wait to play a little bit. This will be fun.
Me too.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Get us all together. Wow. You, me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Well, we all found each other. And I think we found each other even before COVID, but it solidified who were really here to serve and who were there for visibility. So that transition is now available for the people that want to serve. That's
and community. It's all about unity, community.
yeah. Perfect.
Heart.
Thank you so much. And we'll have to do this again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
It was lots of fun. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.